Alright, it's been a while since I've done an update here at Kincaid's Nursery, so I just wanted to take some shots of what I've been up to. I'm so into these rhodies and been putting all my time into that I haven't done anything gardening wise for fruits and vegetables. And my wife really wants to get a little orchard going and a vegetable garden, so I've been using our backhoe over here. This thing has come in so handy on this property. I've dug water ditches and cleared property and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, I've used it to kind of dig down into the soil here. As you can see in the Pacific Northwest, at least in our area, kind of at the base of Mount Rainier, it's just nothing but rock. So you kind of got to build up your soil for gardens around here. So I've dug down. It's going to be about a 20 by 30 foot garden. And we're going to line it with railroad ties and probably some cedar on the inside of that. And then I'm going to dump this compost that I've been building up. It's a combination of horse manure with shavings and cow manure from a local dairy that I've been picking up with our 5-yard dump truck. And that's been composting really nicely. I've turned it a couple times. There's enough there, I'm sure, to fill in a 20 by 30 by 1 foot area. And that'll make for some good soil next spring as it sits through the winter. So anyway, that's what I've been up to lately. We're going to have a nice vegetable garden going on here. We'll kind of take a walk through the hoop house again. See the rhodies and all the other little things I've got going on. So this is 2014. It's August. Everything's kind of semi-hardened off here. Rhodies have really done a nice job growing up beautifully this summer. I actually repotted all the 1 gallons into 3-gallon pots. Everything in here is in, pretty much everything in here is in 3-gallon pots now. Be ready for sale next year in the springtime. And I'm going to keep probably, I don't know, half the plants and sell the other half. And we're going to plant out a bunch of them on the property here. Again, I've been preparing areas up front. Anyway, we've got some Pieris here. They're Mountain Fire Pieris. This stuff is just really beautiful. I kept those in 1-gallon pots because they were still fitting in there just fine. But anyway, they'll have some nice white bell-shaped flowers on them next spring, and they kind of bloom a little bit earlier in March generally, sometimes April, just depending on the weather. But they'll turn out real nice, and those get pretty big. They'll get up to 6 foot tall eventually. What do we have down here? This is one I picked up last year, I think, and I still haven't planted it out. It is a yak hybrid, Yaku Queen. I need to get that out in the landscape and start taking cuttings from that. I haven't gotten any cuttings from that yet. And then I picked up 2 unique rhododendrons. I have some unique marmalade, and that's more of an orange color, but this one's more of a light yellow, and they're real pretty. We'll plant them together, maybe 3 foot apart, and they'll grow together and kind of make a nice little low-growing hedge, maybe with some bigger rhodies in the backdrop. I don't know, there's just so many, it's hard to pick one that you like the best. This is Graf Zeppelin. They've just gotten really big, and they're actually in 2-gallon pots, so they've kind of outgrown the pots that they're in here, but I'll take real good care of them. I think I'm going to keep them just because they are in 2-gallon pots, and I'm going to have to take extra special care of them, plant them in some really good rich soil, and then keep them watered well until they get good roots under them. I'll probably prune them back a little bit to encourage the root growth and get them started real well. So I'll probably keep those. These are Taurus rhododendrons. You can tell that by them red buds on top. They have a beautiful red flower in the early spring. They're one of the first ones to bloom around here, and they'll get up 6-7 foot high eventually. It takes, you know, 10-15 years for that to happen, but they're just a beautiful rhododendron. And just numerous varieties. I mean, I could go through all of them, but you get the point here. So everything's just coming along real nice. And I definitely have to sell some of these rhodies next year because it is just completely full in here. I don't know if I could get anything else in here without having to hover over all of this, because there's just nowhere to walk if I pack it in any tighter. Here's one I'm real excited about. It's called Very Berry. That's a plant. actually, yeah, I got that from a friend down the road in Rainier. They own a little rhododendron nursery, and it's called Rainier Rhododendrons, and this variety is very berry. I got this from them. Anyway, as it gets bigger and more mature, the leaves are just really big, and the flowers are just big raspberry colored flowers, and they're just really beautiful. They have a variety over there. They have that variety at their place that is really pretty large in their landscape, and it looks beautiful when it's in full bloom. Here's one I like a lot, Lavender Princess. This one's a younger one, so and it's been in the shade house, so it's not really portraying all of its attributes, but the one I've got out in the landscape is it's probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 foot tall now, and it's getting more mature. Well, the stems on this, when it's more out in the sun and a little more mature, the stems get red as it hardens off into the winter, and so that's a really nice, pretty attribute about this one. That's one of the things I love about rhododendrons is, you know, they have so many different attributes. They've got different leaf patterns, they've got different growth patterns, they've, you know, their stems look different, their leaves are different colors, they look different throughout different times of the year, and so there's always so much different interest to them. They're beautiful in the snow, they provide shade and shelter, they make a nice hedge year-round, they're evergreen, and that's just one of the things I love about rhododendrons. There's just so much involved with them. I often hear people say, but they only bloom once a year, and you know, I challenge them to find a plant that blooms more than once a year. But yeah, I know there's things like hydrangeas and roses, and those are beautiful too, but rhododendrons are just the king of landscape shrubs, and there's interest to them throughout the year if you take the time to notice it. This is a new variety, another one that I got from my friends at Rainier Rhododendron. Let's see here if I can get it. It's just called Lem's Monarch, and it'll get really big over time. It's a beautiful variety, and it's got a beautiful flower. I haven't actually seen mine bloom yet. They're still little, but I got all these as cuttings from them, and started them here, and now they're a couple years old, and they're in 2-gallon pots, and be ready to plant out next year. That's those same Japanese maples, red leaf Japanese maples that I've started from seed several years ago. They're just getting way too big for the britches. They need to get sold or planted out, one of the two. The reason that their leaves are more green in here is because, as you can see, I'm inside the shade house, and I use 50% shade for the plastic there, and when red leaf Japanese maples are in the shade, their leaves tend to get more green. If I put these guys out in the full sun, they would be way more red, but we'll see that as we plant them out more. So anyway, I think that's enough for now. We'll give you one shot of the whole deal here. And there it is. Thanks for watching. Adios.